Case Digest on Price Waterhouse vs. Hopkins. Doctrine established in the case. When a plaintiff in a Title VII case proves that her gender played a part in an employment decision, the defendant may avoid a finding of liability by proving by a preponderance of the evidence that it would have made the same decision even if it had not taken the plaintiff's gender into account. Facts of the case. Ann Hopkins was a senior manager at Price Waterhouse for 5 years before being proposed for partnership. Although Hopkins secured a $25 million government contract that year, the board decided to put her proposal on hold for the following year. The following year, when Price Waterhouse declined to renominate her for partnership, she filed a lawsuit under Title VII for sex discrimination. At the time, out of 622 partners at Price Waterhouse, only 7 were women. The selection process for partnership was based on recommendations from other partners, some of whom were openly against women holding senior positions. Additionally, Hopkins faced criticism for being overly aggressive and having difficulties getting along with the office staff. The district court held that Price Waterhouse had discriminated, but Hopkins was not entitled to full damages because her poor interpersonal skills also contributed to the board's decision. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit affirmed, but held that the employer is not liable if it can show by clear and convincing evidence that it would have made the same employment decision in the absence of discrimination. Issue of the case. Whether the Court of Appeals erred in requiring the employer to prove it would have made the same employment decision in the absence of discrimination by clear and convincing evidence. Ruling of the case. The court through Justice William J. Brennan held that the Court of Appeals applied the right test, but should have placed the burden at preponderance of the evidence, not clear and convincing evidence. On remand, Price Waterhouse would escape liability if it shows it would have denied Hopkins partnership even if she were not a woman. Justice Byron R. White wrote a concurrence, stating that there was no requirement for the employer to submit objective evidence. The employer's credible testimony alone was enough. Justice Sandra Day O'Connor wrote a concurrence, expressing that the court's opinion was only a supplement to McDonnell Douglas. Impact to the legal system. The ruling established that gender stereotyping can be legally recognized as sex discrimination. Additionally, it introduced the mixed motive framework, allowing employees to prove discrimination even when legitimate reasons for the adverse employment action coexist with discriminatory motives. This decision also created a more balanced approach between employee rights and employer prerogatives, significantly influencing the adjudication of discrimination cases in the U.S. legal system. Learning law is easier with Audio Law Reader. Download now and follow us for more case digests like this.